Hi, everyone. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everyone. Happy National Puzzle Day.
National Puzzle Day. I did not know it was
Yes.
National Puzzle Day. Everyone go out and do a puzzle. Here's your puzzle. Who is the person next to me? Because it's not Carly.
No.
No, our good friend Eric O is here substituting for Carly, who is tragically off on a Disney cruise. Everyone feel very sorry for Carly that she's stuck on a ship. No, don't feel sorry for
No.
her.
Nope.
No, don't feel sorry at all. We before we launch into this show, which is a very special episode, we've got something really fun that Eric is here to talk about. But first, we are going to check in with some folks in the chat, starting with Vince Lamb. Hello, Vince. Wishing
Hello,
everyone a
Vince.
happy early Groundhog Day. To all the listeners, may your Friday not repeat until you get it right. Bill Murray classic. Maybe Bill Murray's best movie, and it's so sad that it destroyed his friendship with
Hey,
Harold Ramis.
talking about that, the new Ghostbusters trailer just dropped like an
Oh, I
hour
have to
ago.
go. What if?
Yeah.
Ironically, I just rewatched Ghostbusters 2 night before last because I had
Excellent.
rewatched the original Ghostbusters not long ago, and I got this big coffee table book on the making of all the Ghostbusters films.
Oh,
Gotta
cool.
say, the original Ghostbusters not aged all that well.
No.
The effects actually are not bad. And I love the rest of the cast, but Bill Murray's humor has dated very badly. It is,
Yes.
and I found that I remembered Ghostbusters 2 being pretty terrible and actually was not as bad as I remembered. Like Ghostbusters 2 better than I remembered. Now I got to go back and rewatch Afterlife before Frozen
Yes.
Kingdom comes out. So excited
That's
for that.
important.
Um, Tolga wishing everyone
Hello,
hello.
hello.
Eric, you're already here.
Oh
You
no,
can
hello
say good
myself.
morning. You don't have to
Wow.
comment good morning. But Michael Bingham is saying, what's going on to everyone? Welcome to the podcast Monday. To you, thank you. In Derico's corner, as always, Blossom
Of
and
course. Hello,
Michelangelo,
hello.
welcome. Also, hi to N Wiser and Brian Sanger chiming in to say that Royal Rumble was crazy over the weekend. And yes, I am not a big wrestling fan, but I did hear a little bit about that. Some other behind the scenes craziness in wrestling world. We won't talk about that. And yes, Carly went on her inaugural trip on Icon on the Sea and then just hopped right over to the Disney cruise. And believe it or not, I got to see her in between, which I'm going to talk about real quick. And last but not least, Chris, Nickelodeon Universe, saying hi. Thank you for
Hello,
saying
hello.
hi. All right. Well, welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. We've got more than a dozen people in the stream. So we are going to kick off this recording in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 228 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I am Seth.
And I'm Eric.
And we are both here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. And as you might have noticed, my usual host, Carly, is off on a nautical adventure. So our West Coast correspondent, Eric O, is stepping in, and we will be talking about some of his theme park travels in just a little bit. But why don't you say hello to everyone, Eric, and let us know how you've been lately.
Well, hi everyone. It's nice to be back on the podcast. Believe it or not, this is my second appearance. My
Welcome
first
back.
appearance was about 3 years ago.
Wow, has it been that long?
3 years ago, yeah. And now I'm back here to kind of talk about some cool, exciting adventures. But what I've done the past week, it's been pretty low key. But I did visit Six Flags Magic Mountain over the weekend to say, yeah, just because.
Just
When
because. Do you
just
have
because.
an annual pass there?
Yes, I have one of those legacy memberships, which they
Ah,
no longer sell. I get half off everything in the park, food, merch, get all dining, all season flash pass. So
Well, that might almost make it worth driving all the way up there. It's a little far
Yes.
from where I usually am at Disneyland, so I have
Right.
never visited myself, but I know they got some
Well,
great
if you want to
coasters.
go, we
All
got
right,
time
so
sometime in the
some
future.
yeah, sometime I will have to do that.
Yes.
I did not ride any big roller coasters this week, but I did have a couple interesting experiences. I First of all, I went to a very interesting media event over at the Orlando International Airport in the beautiful new Terminal C, where they had a roundtable discussion that included the head of the airport authority and the head of Brightline, VP of guest experience, plus some folks from the Plaza Premium Lounge, and got some really interesting quotes about the comeback of tourism and travel in Orlando, what kind of international visitor mix they have, and also some details about the moving walkways that everyone complains were
Hmm.
not put into the new airport. The moving walkways are coming. We've got some construction details on those. So check out that article up now on Attractions Magazine. In addition, I was there on closing night at the Magic Kingdom when everyone said goodbye to the Country Bear Jamboree. The Bears are not going away entirely. They are just going to be learning some new, more updated Disney music instead of their classic soundtrack. Blake Taylor, our reporter, did a great in-depth article that is on attractionsmagazine.com about the whole history of the Country Bear Jamboree, going back to its opening in 1971 and beyond. I did not get to see the show on closing night.
Oh
They
no.
cut the line off at 9 o'clock. But even I think the last show that actually got through was around 8:20 or so, because it
Yes,
broke
I've heard.
down. They had technical difficulties, and a lot of people stood in line for a couple hours. The line stretched, I kid you not, from Country Bears all the way through Frontierland, around Pecos Bill, around the back into Adventureland, into the plaza by the Pirates exit. Never seen anything like that.
Jeez, that's
And that
that's
included
fun.
some switchbacks. I mean, that was a lot. But at least the folks who did stick it out to the end, they didn't get to see the show, but they did get to walk through the theater and get a free poster. So, yay. Um, Hopefully we will all be happy when the new version of the show comes later this year, and if not, maybe in another 5 years they'll bring back the original. Who knows?
You never know.
I know. Yeah, I know. It was not quite as ugly as the closing night of Splash Mountain.
Yes.
As far as I
Oh
know,
yeah, I
there was
remember.
no like people screaming and punching, but
No.
it did get a little salty towards the end. So
Yes.
yeah. So moving right along without any further ado, let's jump ahead into the news in the queue. All right, we're going to start out this week's news in the queue over in Eric's side of the world at the downtown Disney district of Disneyland Resort, where we've got some more details on new dining venues that have been a long time coming. We're going to start out with what appears to be what is going on the spot that used to be the AMC Theater and the shops next to it. We've got a new multi-story venue called Parkside Market. And we'd previously announced what was going in there, but now we have some concept art showing off the mid-century modern design. And this is where you're going to find 4 culinary concepts under one roof. Soul Sister, fast casual Korean. Sip and Sonder lattes and Caribbean inspired bites, Gigi's Chicken Shop, and as well as an upstairs bar with craft cocktails. So we knew that was coming. We just didn't know exactly what shape it was going to take. And now we've got a look at the exterior of that. And we've also got a little more details on a Paseo and Centrico, which are replacing the previous restaurants, the Spanish restaurants that were in the middle of downtown Disney. And they're going to be joined by something called Tendita, which is going to be a quick service location specializing in esquites, which is roasted corn street food, along with tacos. And finally, if you are a fan of Earl of Sandwich, good news. The current Earl of Sandwich location is going to be turned into Porto's Bakery, but we're going to get a temporary Earl of Sandwich over by the Star Wars Trading Post, and eventually we're going to have a permanent 2-story Earl of Sandwich with both the takeaway shop on the ground floor and the sit-down gastro pub upstairs. So a lot of changes coming, hopefully before the end of this year, to downtown Disney dining. Eric, which of these are you most excited about seeing?
I mean, the whole parkside market concept sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of these quick service restaurants kind of being under one roof. It kind of reminds me of what's going on in Los Angeles itself. Like
Mhm.
locally where I live, there's a similar concept where they have these different cuisines, kind of in like
Mhm.
a food court style, and it's kind of creates this cool atmosphere where you get to enjoy all this food together under one roof.
Yeah,
Kind of creates a cultural experience,
it's
which
kind of funny because one of my favorite places to eat outside of Disney property in Anaheim is the Anaheim Packing House, which is like
exactly they have
an
packing
indoor
house.
food hall where they repurposed, an old building and put lots of little, not full size restaurants, but little
Hmm.
quick service booths. And this kind of looks like they're trying to create that idea, except sort of artificially instead of organically. So
Yeah, because I
definitely,
like
if you like mid-century modern, it definitely is going for that vibe.
yeah, I also just like that there's more quick service to enjoy at downtown Disney. That's sometimes I don't feel like eating at the parks, so I'm like, I'll go to Earl Sandwich or
Yes.
I'll go to Tortilla Joe's before
Yeah,
that
well,
closes in a few weeks.
RIP Tortilla Joe's. Yeah, as
Yep.
part of all these changes, we are going to see those current Mexican restaurants, all which are also owned by Patina Group, which
Hmm.
owns the current one. Yeah, it's not room for quite that much Mexican food in downtown
Right.
Disney. So and I think what we're going to see is that um, the new ones that are coming are probably going to be a little more expensive,
Right.
a little more modern and upscale. If you just wanted your standard burrito or nachos, you're probably going to be paying a little bit more for that now at the new
Hmm.
places.
Yeah. But
But
places like Earl Sandwich and Porto's,
yep.
sure, I'm excited. But where I live, I'm about 3 minutes away from both a Porto's and an Earl Sandwich.
Yeah,
So
it's the
you
same
guys can be
thing.
excited about it.
Same thing for me when I see people waiting in line for Gideon's Bakehouse at the Disney Springs here, and I'm like, we've got one of those a 10-minute drive. I could drive to that one and
Right.
get my cookie long before you're gonna get your way through that line there.
Hmm.
But we're looking forward to all those coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully sometime in spring of 2024, whether that's early spring or late spring. Who knows? But hopefully soon. All right. Next one up. Lunar New Year has arrived at Disney California Adventure. And this year's celebration involves both new sip and savor passes and some new character meet and greets. The big news is that, well, this is the year of the dragon. So, of course, you can meet Mushu from Mulan. Mulan and Mushu are both back. Raya is back at her meet and greet along Redwood Creek Challenge Trail, but the big addition this year is Mei Lee and Ming Lee, mother and daughter from Turning Red, are appearing over in the Paradise Gardens area. And we know that we've got a Pixar parade coming up where we're going to see May in her red panda form. But in this meet and greet, she's a face character that's kind of halfway transformed. She's got the panda ears and tail, but human otherwise, which is kind of an interesting choice. Have you gotten a chance to meet these characters yet?
I I haven't gotten the chance to visit DCA yet for Lunar New Year. I'm
Uh,
probably gonna do that sometime this weekend
okay.
because I was one of the very fortunate select number of people who were able to see Turning Red in an actual movie theater.
Oh, yeah. Not
Because
many
they had it,
people.
no, because they showed us down at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood, like for 1 week only. And I'm
Uh,
like, I'm gonna have to get a ticket just to see that. And I can tell you, the audience and I were having a good time.
yeah. Yeah,
So I'm,
that was one that was a victim of the pandemic and didn't
yes,
get a
but
real
it's
release.
coming back to, but it's coming to theaters, like, I think next month. So
Oh, great. Well, if you haven't
yeah,
caught it on Disney Plus a few dozen times, you check that
yeah,
out. You're also going to want to check out while you are there, in addition to complimentary crafts like Chinese calligraphy keepsakes that you can help make. You are definitely going to want to look out for these sip and savor passes. They set up food festival style food booths around what they call the performance corridor. If you want to save a little bit of money, the Sip and Savor Pass includes 6 coupons redeemable for select food or non-alcoholic beverages. So you do have to watch for the little knife and fork symbol on the menus to know what you can use it on. But the nice change this year is previously they had these little plastic tabs that you had to break off. They're always in danger of losing them, and if you lost them, it was gone. Now it's just got a barcode that you can scan it with a PIN number to keep track of how much you have left on it.
yeah. I mean, it's a good thing to have. It definitely reminds me of a Disney gift card.
Yeah. I
So
kind of wish
yeah.
they don't do anything like this at the Epcot festivals. They do have the little gift cards that you can wear on your wrist, but that you're
Hmm.
just, you're not really getting any savings with that. You're just purchasing
Right.
credit. This, depending on which items you pick, if you go for the most expensive eligible items, you can end up saving a little bit of money using these cards. Another tip is that a big difference between the way these food festivals work in DCA versus Epcot. You can order all of your things at once from one marketplace stand and then go and pick them up from all the other stands. So if you want to save a little bit of time, go through the passport, decide in advance what you want, and order all at once. Just remember, you got to pick it up before the end of that day. If you forget and you can't come back another day and pick it up, at least they didn't used to let you do that. So merchandise, of course, also available as well. And you are going to want to stick around for World of Color 1, which recently returned to the parks. And now it's got the special Hurry Home Lunar New Year celebration pre-show that happens right before the main show. All of this going on now through February 18th. Anything in particular that you're looking forward to when you check this out?
I mean, my favorite thing is the Hurry Home pre-show before World of Color.
Yeah.
However, if you plan on visiting that park, if they're showing World of Color 1 twice, they only show Hurry Home during the first showing, the 9 o'clock show. So
That is
just
good
be
to know. They
mindful.
they don't show the pre-show for the second showing if there is a
Right.
second showing scheduled.
And with that in mind, since it is attached to World of Color 1, it is a total of a 29-minute show. So you're in
You,
for a long treat.
yes.
If you like water, if you like lights and
Yes.
music for 29 minutes, this is your
Yep.
perfect show to watch.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I actually really like the Christmas version of World of Color. But I
I
am
do
looking
too.
forward to seeing World of Color 1 because I understand they've made few little tweaks and adjustments to it.
Just small tweaks.
Yeah.
I found out the show is 11 seconds shorter
11
than what
whole
it was.
seconds.
Yes.
I'm sure those were important 11 seconds
Yes.
that we lost.
The main thing they did is they cut out the bridge between Lion King and Star Wars. So it's just Lion King and it just goes straight into Star Wars. That's
Interesting.
it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's better.
Well, tighten up the pacing a little. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to checking that out when I am down there at the end of February.
Yay.
Next up, Mickey and Minnie are debuting new Bahamian-inspired costumes when they appear at Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, which is the new private island for Disney Cruise Line. This is part of Disney Cruise Line's effort for authenticity and cultural immersion for their new second private island. They've partnered up with acclaimed Bahamian fashion designer Theodore Elliott to create these unique Bahamian-inspired costumes that you will, I guess, only see Mickey and Minnie wearing on this new island. We got a great story on attractionsmagazine.com. A little information about Theodore's background. He began designing runway fashions at only 13 years old and has done designs for Miss Universe contestants, Miss Bahamas, celebrities, you name it. But Mickey and Minnie, of course, are the biggest celebrities that he's designed for so far. And this is all going to fit in just right with Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Points. This is on the new island of Eutheria in the Bahamas. And the whole island's design, along with these costumes, has influences from the conch shells, the Junkanoo culture, that is found in the islands. And this is going to open to the public, or at least to guests on Disney cruise ships, in June of 2024. And keep an eye out, because in addition to these costumes that we are now seeing for Mickey and Minnie, the designer is also working on a collection for Donald and Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, Chippendale. So the whole gang will have new clothes to wear when they are visiting Lookout Cay.
This is pretty exciting. I mean, I've never done a cruise in my life, so
you've
I
never
would
done
love to do.
any?
Never.
Well, I would say that if you are not a cruiser, that the Disney cruise is probably the best starter cruise that you could pick, because the quality of the guest service is really second to none.
Yes.
And their private islands, whether it's Castaway Cay or this new Lookout Cay, really some of the best private islands in the business. The only problem is it spoils you. It makes it really hard to go on a cheaper cruise after you've been on a Disney cruise.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I completely forgot to look away at how Lighthouse Point was happening. I heard about this 5 years ago at D23 Expo, and
yes,
it's
right.
finally here.
I know.
So
Yeah.
Wow, it's here now.
It's been a while coming. Yep.
Progress.
Hopefully, I will. Hopefully, I'll set sail there someday.
Hopefully, I will too.
All right, and we're going to finish up the news in the queue with a look at some of the royal details in the newly reimagined 5-star Disneyland Hotel Paris, which just reopened after a 2-year closure. This is not something that you see Walt Disney World hotels doing. They're going to do a refurbishment. They do a rolling refurbishment, and you're still paying full price to stay in that hotel, while even though there's no lobby like there was at the Pixar Hotel in Disneyland. No, in Paris, they shut the whole thing down, their flagship hotel down, for 2 years. And did a top to bottom makeover. If you've seen this place from the outside, it actually looks a lot more like the Grand Floridian than the Disneyland Hotel in Disneyland Anaheim. Also kind of looks like a bit like the one they've got in Hong Kong, except more pink. So it's got that kind of Victorian look on the outside. On the inside, they've redecorated it. It's brighter, it's fresher. It's still classic, but with a slightly more modern touch. But they've definitely brought more Disney into it. All throughout the hotel, a lot more Disney details woven into the carpeting, woven into this exquisite crystal chandelier with a silhouette of the castle that was made in the Czech Republic. There they collaborated with over 200 different European companies to furnish this makeover. And the detail is really just amazing. If you look through this article at attractionsmagazine.com, you can see images of not only the refurbished lobby, but also all of the rooms, which includes 346 superior rooms, 82 deluxe rooms, 41 Castle Club rooms, 16 Castle Club signature suites, one Beauty and the Beast suite, and one Frozen Royal suite. Every single one has been completely made over. And starting with the superior and the deluxe rooms, uh, they each have a theme based on a different animated royalty. You might get a Snow White room, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Princess and the Frog, Tangled, Frozen, Moana, or Raya the Last Dragon. And each one has artwork and little touches in the design referencing those characters. If you step up to a deluxe room, you get this illuminated canopy over your bed and animated enhancements in the artwork around the room. Then you want to take a jump up to the Castle Club, and this is what they call a hotel within a hotel. The top 10% of the rooms get access to the Castle Club Lounge, which is like their version of a concierge lounge. And you've got all sorts of elaborate themed perks and details. A royal canopy over your bed themed to Sleeping Beauty or Tangled. Really, rooms fit for a princess. And some of the signature suites have magical objects themed to their princess. Like you might have Belle's Enchanted Rose or Cinderella's glass slipper inside your room with enchanting special effects that bring them to life. There's only 16 of these signature suites. So if you want your pick of which one, you're going to want to book that as early as possible. And then there are two unique suites, one themed to the live action Beauty and the Beast remake in a very Baroque style, and one that is the Frozen Royal Suite, which is very, it looks a little chilly, but is also very elegant and has an amazing view of Sleeping Beauty Castle right out through its windows. So if you are staying in one of these rooms, you are also going to want to take advantage of all of the amenities that have been upgraded at the Disneyland Hotel, starting with the restaurants. They have the Royal Banquet, which is a buffet restaurant open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you have been salty about the fact that Cape May Buffet took away the free crab legs, you are not going to want me to tell you about how they have lobster and giant prawn and other crustaceans on the buffet here, along with grilled meats and vegetarian food. And of course, this is a character encounter. So you've got artwork referencing some deep cut characters like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove or Atlantis, The Lost Empire. And you're also going to get to meet a selection of characters while you are eating. That hotel restaurant is open to anyone who wants to book it, but they've also got a upscale La Table de Lumière fine dining restaurant that you have to be staying on site in order to have dinner in the ballroom from Beauty and the Beast with, again, visitations from the characters. They've also got a Fleur de Lis cocktail bar, and as we mentioned, if you're staying in that club level, there is a special castle lounge you can take advantage of. Something that really amazed me is they've got a bunch of activities in the hotel that some of them are extra cost, but they seem pretty reasonably cost, and some of them are completely free if you're staying on site. For example, okay, they've got a My Royal Dream, which is sort of like their version of the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique makeover. But for adults, or kids, it only comes out to about $100 for a hair and makeup session with a photo session. And you can add in a costume to keep for another $100, which is pretty reasonable. And they also have a Royal Kids Club that offers free babysitting for up to 2 hours. So if you're a parent, you want to have a nice dinner or do something else with your significant other without the kids for 2 hours, you don't have to hire a babysitter. You can just dump them off in this activity center. They've also got an on-site spa, and a complimentary Royal Encounter service where you can get a one-on-one session with a Disney character with a reserved time slot without having to wait in a line. Finally, they've also got some tours and entertainment. There is a troupe, a comedy troupe that roams through the lobby and engages guests, and also Storykeeper cast members who can give guided tours of the lobby and give you a little bit of the hidden details and designs. Now, we're going to be honest with you. This kind of luxury, this is a 5-star hotel. It does not come cheap. This is the most expensive of all the 8 on-site properties, and they don't really list rack rates. Let's put it this way. A one-night stay, including park admission, because you got to pretty much book this as a package. 2 people, 1 night, park admission for 1 weekend, one overnight stay, about $1,400. So not cheap, but definitely if you're spending a day at Disneyland Paris, this is a nice way to go. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's been happening recently in Disneyland Paris Resort that we've talked about, like the drone shows that they have, and the Avengers Campus, which just opened in 2022. So if you want to plan a trip out there, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, I'm sure, can help you out. And Eric, I don't believe you've been to Paris.
Nope, never been to Paris, but
Is it on your bucket list?
It actually was on my bucket list, and then
Okay.
2020 happened.
Yeah.
But talking
hear ya.
about this hotel, I mean, they've done a really fantastic job to, as I say, reimagine the hotel as this kind of cool luxury boutique, kind of fairy tale kind of experience. Like
Yep.
seeing the glass slipper as well as the castle chandelier that they have. Makes me want to go, but
Yeah.
it's expensive.
Yes, it was. I mean, well. First of all, as anything in real estate, location. This is right there. Literally, it is the gates of the park. Like
Yes.
people are entering the park by walking under your room. So you can't get a better spot for staying at that resort. And previously, much like the Grand Floridian here in Orlando, it was previously a very nice hotel, but a little grandma, a little a little old fashioned. And this renovation, I think, will help by leaning into Disney and the princesses, but in a kind of classy upscale way. I think it'll help keep it fresh for longer.
Yeah, the new colors make it look very warm, inviting.
Yep.
Classic Disney, just what I want.
Hope I get to see it myself sometime. I will say, though, that the trip I took to Paris, oh God, coming up on 10 years ago, I wish I had spent more time in Paris, and less time in Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris is great, but a full day in the Disneyland park and maybe half a day in the Studios park is all the time you need. Do not take 3 days of your trip for that.
I was hoping to go sometime after the Walt Disney Studios parks somewhat finishes its expansion. But we'll see how long that will take.
Yes, when their Frozen Land is done, and if they ever move forward with that Star Wars area, a lot of exciting stuff coming there in the future, and this will be a great place to stay. if you
Yeah.
can afford it.
Yes.
All right. Well, that just about brings us to the end of the news in the queue. Before we jump into this week's main attraction, we are going to hear a quick word from our sponsors.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction.
All right. For this week's main attraction, we have, drumroll please, Erico,
Yay, it's me.
who recently took, I believe it was your first trip to Japan.
Yes.
To visit both Tokyo Disneyland
Mhm.
and Universal Studios in Osaka.
That's right.
And is someone who is very, very, very familiar with the California theme parks, but taking their first trip to Japan. I was hoping that you could just sort of walk us through the stages of your trip, some of the highlights, and give some advice for anyone who's thinking of doing the same. Like I was thinking of taking a trip myself to Japan maybe this fall. So let's start out a little bit of planning. How far advanced did you start planning this trip? Things like airlines and hotels. What does an American traveler need to go through if they want to arrange that kind of stuff?
Well, what I say is, luckily I went with a couple friends who kind of helped me plan this out. But a good recommendation I would say is probably plan an international trip about a year out, because you're gonna have to.
All right, see, I'm already too late.
Oh well, that's okay. But you can always,
Well, I know the on-site.
nothing.
I've heard that the on-site hotels, especially at Disneyland, Tokyo Disneyland, have a date, many months in advance, and they pretty much book up instantly when they become available,
Yeah.
right?
So if you're planning to go to Japan for the parks,
Mhm.
you want to buy your tickets as early as you're able to. Tickets usually drop about 60 days prior to the date of your visit.
Mhm.
So when those date comes, gotta get it. So that's already 2 months ahead that you have to plan. And then having to plan your, if you need to get a passport, which I had to do because I haven't had
okay.
one in a very long time. Also having to, get out a currency exchange, which I found a really easy way to. So I'll probably share that later on.
Oh, okay.
Getting hotel, airfare. Took about 10 months to finalize everything, get that all paid off for.
Okay.
But Japan's alive, I can tell you that. I'm
Uh,
sure you can find videos online of
so
this craziness of
you
Japan.
flew from LAX to
Yes, I
which
flew.
airport?
Yes, I flew directly from LAX to Tokyo Haneda Airport.
Okay.
The Tokyo Haneda Airport is about 30, 40 minutes away from Tokyo Disney
Okay.
from the way we traveled. Japan loves its public transit, so it really was a godsend to help us out. When we got to Japan, we took this bus. They called it an airport limousine, one that directly takes you to Tokyo Disney Resort hotels.
Okay. So were you staying at an on-site Disney hotel or one of them nearby?
No, I like to say they're at these official Good Neighbor hotels.
Okay.
So
So I
we
know
stayed.
in
Mhm.
California, Disneyland California, the Good Neighbor Hotel doesn't really mean an awful lot. What does
No,
that designation get you in Tokyo?
nothing.
Okay.
The only what the like when I was there, friends like Eric throw every knowledge you know about the U.S. Disney parks, throw it out the window.
Okay.
Tokyo Disney is run like no other park I've ever been to. As many
Okay.
of you guys know, Tokyo Disney is owned and operated by the Oriental Land Company, and they get the license from Disney to use their IP. So very much, it does not feel like a typical, I want to say, a Disney guest journey experience.
Okay. So
So
what are some of the big differences that someone who's used to going to Disneyland in California a lot would want to know making your first trip into Tokyo Disneyland? Just even in terms of like getting tickets, getting into the park in the morning, how you exist as a guest in there. What are some of the big differences that you'd want to
So
know?
the biggest thing there is they do not sell annual passes.
Mm,
Every single guest visiting the parks is on a single day ticket.
okay.
And all 6 days that I went to Tokyo Disney, they all sold out.
Wow.
So I know there was a period when Disneyland Resort didn't sell annual passes, and then they're like, "Oh, let's go bring it back." But the Japanese, they love Disney.
Hmm.
So people, they get there super early because the reason for that is public transit. Public transit there starts super early and it ends early.
Hmm.
So from what I understood, around 95% of park attendance is there within the first 2 hours of the day.
So everyone rope drops. Unlike in
Everybody there rope
California,
drops.
locals in California don't rope drop
No.
very often.
So
Yeah.
getting there well before rope drop is really, really important. Luckily, the hotel I was staying at is actually directly behind the Tokyo Disney Sea Park.
Okay.
It connects with the monorail system that they have there, so super
Which you have to
convenient.
pay for there, right?
Yes. Public transit is not free there.
Hmm.
So it's about like $1.75,
Yeah.
$2
I would say when we
per
say you
kid.
have to pay for it, it's still cheaper than if you were looking at an equivalent with tickets and hotels in.
Yeah.
Well, I know tickets are probably cheaper on a day by day basis, but
Yes. So
how is the hotel expense there? How do those?
so we stay at the Hilton Tokyo Bay, which is located
Okay.
behind Tokyo Disney next to the Toy Story Hotel.
Hilton's a reliable brand.
Yes.
There's a Hilton on property at Universal in Hollywood. So how
Yes,
does
there is.
how'd that compare?
Well, what's nice is the rooms that we had were very spacious. This
Okay.
is a pretty expensive hotel for Hilton. Is roughly about 500 a night.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, they got good money for this hotel.
All right. And this was one of the
Which
less expensive hotels
yes,
in okay.
there's a Sheraton next to it too.
Mhm.
Some Japanese brands, but
As an
if you can
American traveler,
travel,
you probably don't want to stay in one of the Japanese brand hotels.
yes, because very much like a Hilton, it's a Hilton hotel, so you'll
Okay.
have everything you know about a Hilton.
Mhm.
And the convenient part about it is in almost all hotels, they have convenience stores.
Oh, nice.
Now, these convenience stores are not like typical American 7-Elevens. These are like kind of like that, but it's a lot nicer,
Oh yeah. Well,
good quality food.
I know from being in Hong Kong that the 7-Elevens and convenience stores there are so much nicer than any that we have here.
Yes, like you can get a hot meal there. You can get,
Yep.
a steak meal or
Wow.
some spaghetti, chips, water, super cheap, and
And
bring it up to your hotel
and
room.
did your Good Neighbor Hotel include early entry? What's the whole early entry rope drop
No,
situation
so
there?
at the official Disney hotel, so that's the Disney Ambassador Hotel, the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel, um, what's the other one? Oh, Hotel
Miracosta?
Miracosta,
Mhm.
and the upcoming Fantasy Springs Hotel.
Yeah.
Those give you what they call a happy entry.
Okay.
That's what they call.
That's
I
a
don't. That's what they call it out there.
maybe needs
But
a better
essentially,
translation. So,
yeah. So essentially, every day Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea are open 9 a.m. till 9 p.m.
uh-huh.
Early entry starts about 45 minutes, so 8:15 for
Okay.
early access, and then they open up the rest of the park at 8:30. So technically, it is a 15-minute grace period, as I call it,
So they get
just
a
to get ahead
15-minute
inside the
head
park.
start. So it doesn't even really get you time to ride a ride.
No,
It gets you to be first for one attraction, basically.
basically.
Okay.
And the thing is the Japanese, the fans out there, they know how to do that park.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you got to be on your game, especially with the Tokyo Disney app, which good luck, it's really bad.
Really?
The app takes
Okay.
forever to load because everybody's on it. So
Okay.
if you want to book a priority pass or premier access, standby request for shopping, uh, entry
Because
request
they
from your character.
because they do a lot of things, even shows on like a lottery system
Yes, it
there,
is a
right?
lottery
I,
system, not a virtual queue.
right. So you just it tells you you won or you lost,
Basically,
uh, but
so
it's not necessarily whoever hits it first.
no. So not even so I did a test about that. So
Okay.
I tried to book a lottery for myself, and then my friends did it for another show. My friends got it, I didn't.
Oh, so they
And
got to
we're
see the
tech
show and you did not?
I mean, it was the one of the kids show, so we didn't care
Okay.
about it. But
All right.
they opened, but yeah, so everything is pretty much fair game there, though. So I would
Interesting.
say, much like if you were to plan a vacation, just be flexible with whatever you can do, because realistically, you won't be able to get through everything in the time frame and what you want to do. Flexibility is really, really important, especially
Interesting.
at these parks.
Do they so here our parks have been really transformed by Genie Plus and individual Lightning Lane. Do they have an equivalent system there, and does it work better or worse?
Yes, so they have right now it's their 40th anniversary, so they have this special 40th anniversary priority pass
Okay.
that works exactly like Max Pass, but
Oh,
without
I
having to
missed
pay
Max
for it.
Pass. Oh,
It's a completely free service.
oh, I'm so jealous.
Then they also have the Disney Premier Access, which gets you paid opportunity to go to some
Hmm.
of the most popular rides. But for Tokyo Disneyland Park, the free service included rides like Pooh's Honey Hunt, It's a Small
Oh,
World,
wow.
Haunted Mansion, It's
Okay.
a Small World.
Mm.
The premier access there was Splash Mountain
Okay.
of all rides. I know. I
Okay.
was. It also included their entertainment. So if you wanted to
Mm.
see the electrical parade, they had a premier access.
Oh, okay.
It's a reserve viewing, and it's an actual reserved viewing. They assign you a seat number. There are stickers on the ground that tells you what row, what seat number you're at. So you don't have to camp out super early just to get the perfect spot.
Mm.
Everything is assigned to you, so you don't have to get there super duper early.
Mm.
That's amazing. But the priority access, got to get there early, much like Max Pass works. You only get the first available windows, and then once they're gone unless if
Oh,
someone cancels and you grab that last minute pass. And like I said earlier, the people there are very, very smart on how to use the app. So
yeah.
you'll get lucky and
The app
works
is
works for you.
so the app is a little tough to. Were you able to use your phone there? Did you have to buy any
Yeah.
special service or?
Yeah. So I didn't want to pay for an international plan, so I downloaded this app called Airalo, recommended from travel agents TDR Explorer.
Okay.
If you heard of him, it's
Yeah.
essentially like if you have the newer iPhones, they don't come with a physical SIM card. They now
Okay.
come with these called eSIMs. The Airalo app, you just download an app, put in your information, what country you're visiting, and then you have these options where you can buy data. So there's like 2 gigabytes, 4,
Okay.
10, 18 for a certain number of days.
Hmm.
I only paid $20 for 30 gigabytes throughout my entire trip.
That's pretty good.
So
That's because
really, really, really cheap.
I have AT&T and I usually use the international day plan with AT&T and that's $10 a day for unlimited. But if you can make 30 gigs last for your whole trip, then that's a pretty good deal.
Yes.
Have to
It was
definitely have to look into that.
super
And
easy, cheap, recommended.
okay, so all right, attractions. Tell me an attraction at Tokyo Disneyland that exceeded your expectation. Because I know all see videos on YouTube and stuff. And we know
Mhm.
much money and maintenance and how much they plus all their attractions. So what was something that you were looking forward to that exceeded your expectations, and what's something that was a little disappointing?
Something that exceeded my expectations was actually not a ride, it's actually a show.
Okay.
So, inside of the new, expansion for Fantasyland, so that
Hmm.
includes Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
right? They also expanded with other entertainment. So there's this, theater next door to the ride, kinda like see what's the best way to put it? Stars Mickey Mouse and friends on this magical journey through the magical wishes.
Okay.
It's a humongous like Broadway style production. There's all these automated automation. So I got some
No.
set pieces rolling on the ground. You got some stunt work with Peter
No.
Pan, Wendy, Captain Hook on a big pirate ship on the stage.
Wow.
All in Japanese, though. That's the one thing. It's all in
No,
Japanese.
I
But
noticed in Hong Kong when you'd have a big show, it would either be they would be speaking a mix of English and Chinese, or
mhm,
they would have literally like a display with subtitles, like when you go to the opera on the side of the stage.
mhm,
So no accommodation in Japan
no,
for English speaking. It's they pretty much expect you to
yes.
understand Japanese.
However, at the other park at Tokyo Disney Sea, there's this
Uh-huh.
show called Big Band Beats.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yes, it's very much like a New York kind of jazz club kind of
Okay.
show, all in English, 100%.
Oh, okay.
So it felt,
Interesting.
even though I've never been on a cruise, it kind of felt like a cruise
Oh, cruise
show.
ship show. All right.
You get very campy, Mickey Mouse on drums, the big people doing the kind of Rockettes kind of thing. Eh, but
Okay.
the entertainment there really stellar. Some of the lesser things that I didn't really enjoy that much was, some of the attractions that are here. So like Haunted Mansion.
Mm,
It's Haunted Mansion. There's
right.
really nothing special. Unless if you'd like to see Haunted Mansion in Nightmare Before Christmas, if it
Right.
were at Walt Disney World. That's the
Yeah.
only big difference.
That's what interests me because it's a clone of the Disney World version of the ride. So I'd like to see like the parts that are different from California, how they adapt that to Nightmare Before
Mhm.
Christmas. That would be cool.
And it was lovely seeing the Tokyo Disney Electrical Parade, Dream
Ah,
Lights.
yes. I've
That thing's been going on since the park opened in the early 80s.
Yep. Yep, that's a
The parade that never
great parade.
dies.
Let's talk about the other thing everyone talks about in Japan, which is the food.
Oh goodness.
What was some of your was there again some of your favorites, and was there anything that that didn't live up to the hype?
Man, I tell you, when people go to Tokyo or Osaka for food, yeah,
Hmm.
especially the parks,
Yeah.
people wait long lines for everything out there.
Yes.
It's
The
absolutely
popcorn lines are
ridiculous.
infamous.
Yes.
Did you wait in line for
Especially,
popcorn?
oh yeah. Oh yes, we did. Um, the the interesting thing about Disney is like these special popcorn flavors, like a curry or milk
Hmm.
chocolate. You can only get it at one popcorn stand in the entire park.
Right.
So waiting in line for that makes it really, really special.
Yes,
That's
but was it worth the wait? That's the question.
I don't know. The popcorn I got was nice and hot. It was about $2 for a popcorn, so
Okay.
couldn't
So
complain about
very
it.
cheap. Yes.
Yes, and all their
And
popcorn.
they're long lines, but do they move? That's my question.
Yes,
They're like,
they
are
do
they
move.
efficient? That's
Yeah. So in one of the popcorn stands that I waited for over at Tokyo Disney Sea, a cast member saw that a line was wrapping all the way around. The guests, they line themselves up. They don't like Tokyo Disney, you won't see tape on the floor. The guests there,
no,
they'll follow the rules. They'll do it themselves. Cast
right.
members, they don't help you. They do it themselves. It's fascinating. But going back to the popcorn line, they had a cast member with a slip saying, "Hey, what do you like? How many churros would you like?" So you give them, say two. They gave you a slip at the register, hand in the slip, pay, and you go.
Mm. Do
So that
they
thing moved
do they
quick.
use things like Apple Pay or mobile order or any of those kind of things we have here?
Yes. Yes, they're very much big on cash, so you definitely wanna carry some yen with you. But
Oh,
however, all of the parks, they fully accepted, tapless pay. Some of these items you can also pay with your transit card.
interesting.
These
Yeah.
at these,
Hong
vending
Kong has the
machines.
same thing with the octopus that they use there.
Yes. Super
That's
convenient.
interesting.
Loved it.
Well, speaking of cash, you mentioned you had a tip for currency exchange.
Mhm.
How much money did you wind up changing? And I still have Hong Kong bills that look like Monopoly money floating around in
Yes.
my wallet. I don't know what to do with.
Yeah, so an app that I use is called Wise.
Okay.
Super easy app. It's an easy exchange. You could link it to your debit card, your credit card
Hmm.
with your banking information. Just swap it, and there's your card. You can also use this Wise card to take out cash at the ATMs there with no fee. So it's just straight up 1 for 1 right there, and it'll give you the current exchange rate for whatever time you want. So right now, a dollar there is about like like a dollar, say $1.50 US dollars is around 175 yen.
Hmm.
So if you want a soda out there, not too bad
Sure.
versus $9-10.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure. Oh yes, for sure.
like highly recommend if you're to travel because this Wise card, it's not only for Japan. You can use it anywhere in the world.
Hmm,
So Hong Kong, Paris, you name it. You can use their card and they'll accept it no problem.
yeah.
With that in
Were
mind,
you also able to use just a Visa card
yeah. I
basis?
mean,
Okay.
if your card works, like for
Right,
me,
right.
that Chase debit card wouldn't have worked
No,
there.
not a debit card, no. But if you have
But yeah,
like
with
I
credit,
have a travel Visa card,
yeah. If you have like
that's
one of those,
accept it.
yeah, if
Yeah,
a Amex card
yeah,
shouldn't be a problem. That's
great,
why buying tickets there can be a bit of a challenge because sometimes
interesting.
they don't accept American cards.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
So
that is good to know.
you can
So
book with MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. They
yeah,
can help you
hopefully,
out with
yes,
their
yes.
travels.
A good reason to have a travel agent.
Oh
Um,
yes,
let us hop over from Disneyland over to Osaka, where you visited Universal. And first of all, how did you get from one to the other? Uh,
yes.
how's that
As you know,
trip?
as you know, the word public transit comes a lot in this
Hmm.
episode. We took the bullet train, what they call the Shinkansen,
Ah,
all the way from Tokyo to Osaka in about 3.5 hours.
nice.
Super quick. It's about $100 one way, so it is expensive, but it's honestly the easiest way to get to Osaka and Tokyo, vice versa.
Yeah.
All these train stations are super connected with everything, so you'll find dining, retail within these train stations,
Mm,
and bento boxes if you love bento boxes like I do. You
nice.
can get your food, bring it on with you to the train, enjoy a nice meal, and then enjoy a nice train
Yeah.
ride through the country. Got to see a lot of cool countryside. Got to see
Mm,
Mount Fuji, the ocean.
awesome.
Well worth it. Now trains they leave on time
Yeah.
and they arrive on time, and it's
Yes.
super clean. So thank goodness for that because you won't find that in America.
Well, I'd say we have our bright line now from Orlando
Yes,
to
that is
Miami.
right.
I've been taking that a lot, but that doesn't go nearly as fast as that bullet train for sure. Um,
Yeah.
once you got there, did you stay on site or
Yeah.
nearby?
Yeah, we actually stayed on site. So
Okay.
unlike the Tokyo Disney hotels, all these hotels are just third party hotels. So
Mm,
like all these Japanese brands.
okay.
Like I don't think that I found an American hotel
Mm,
at Universal Japan. It's all these uh kind of privately owned Japanese conglomerate hotels. Where
gotcha.
we stayed at was called the Park Front Hotel at Universal Studios Japan.
Okay.
That name of the hotel is very literal. We
Is
were literally
literally
in
at the park
front
front.
of Universal Studios Japan.
Okay. So
Like I could
convenient to
see
get to the park. Did you get any kind of perks for staying there?
nope,
Okay.
nope. Yeah,
So
none of these
no early
hotels
entry or anything like that there?
yeah, none of these hotels really offer perks,
Uh-huh.
but they do offer an early entry, but it's a really weird way. It's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like a DVC kind of thing where you speak to a team member, and
Oh.
this is run by a third party, so it's not even universal. So they get you
Hmm.
into a room, kind of explain, how vacation packages, so want to sell you timeshare, and then you're on your
Oh, they're
merry
trying to
way.
sell you something. I gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
I'll
but the
pass
thing
on
is,
that.
much like Tokyo Disney, Universal Japan opens super early. So
Oh, really?
the first day we were there, the park was scheduled to open at 8:30 a.m. Do you know what time they opened that morning?
8?
7 in the morning.
They open an hour and a
An
half
hour and a half
early. How are
before.
you supposed to know that? You
You just got to
said
know the ins and outs.
wow,
So,
okay. So, all right, show up really early, and then where was the first, where do you think the first place you should head? I guess, is Super Nintendo
mhm.
is still the biggest thing there right now.
Super Nintendo World is still the
Do you
biggest
need
thing
a
at Universal.
reservation system, or anything like that?
Yes, so it works kind of. in a easy manner. So it always starts out like if you get there early enough before the official park open, they'll
Gotcha. Go right in.
let you filter in through the land. And then
Mhm.
as soon as the regular park officially opens, they turn on their time entry into Super
Okay.
Nintendo World.
Sort of like they had at Hollywood and got rid of.
But the biggest thing there is before that, you have to link your park ticket to the official USJ app,
Oh, okay.
and then you can
That's
book your
interesting
reservation time.
because you don't really have that link in
No.
the Universal Hollywood app.
And the
All right.
biggest thing is once you book your reservation, that is the time you are allowed to go.
Hmm.
You cannot cancel, you cannot modify, you cannot change how
Wow.
many's in your group.
You're
What
stuck.
you got is what you got.
Wow. And they are strict with the rules there, huh?
Yes. And with that in mind, like any reservations, they will sell out. So all 3 days I was at USJ, they
Mm.
did sell out. What they do is once those guaranteed time entries are gone, they go into an area standby pass. So it works exactly like a lottery system.
Uh,
You link your park ticket, you pick a time technically, and then you just wait. On all the digital boards throughout the park, they'll say group 1C, 2B. You're allowed to go
uh.
into Super Nintendo World at this time. And
So once you finish jumping through all of those hoops, you finally get into Super Nintendo World. Their
mhm,
Donkey Kong is not open quite yet,
no,
but
but
I know that the land in general is larger and more like what we're going to get in Epic Universe versus
yes.
Hollywood. What did you think of the differences between the two lands?
Well, I gotta say, I did get to see a little bit of Donkey Kong Country. I got to see
Oh,
sticky. I got to see it. No, I did go
poking up
inside.
above the
Yeah,
construction wall. Okay.
I actually got to see it from Hogsmeade. Funny enough,
Ah,
of all places, money. Oh, that's Donkey Kong.
okay.
But I love Super Nintendo World. The whole spatial awareness of
Mm,
seeing around you is pretty overwhelming.
hmm.
However, as much as I love the multi-level land,
Okay.
it was not organized.
Oh, really?
I actually
You think of
Hollywood,
everything in Japan as being very well organized. So,
yes, but
okay.
it's universal.
All right. Ah,
That's all I can say. But what I like about Hollywood is everything is on one level, so it's
mm,
easy to get to. For Japan,
okay.
guests I've seen a lot of guests who had mobility issues, guests who couldn't get
Ah,
upstairs. It's
interesting.
really, really
So
tough
there's a
on them.
lot of climbing, and there's not a
A
lot of
lot of stairs.
elevators or
Yes,
do you
but
use an escalator like we have in Epic is going to have an escalator to get you up to the
n
initial
nope,
entry
it's
level?
only
No.
stairs or an
Oh,
elevator.
oh, okay.
There's
So
only 2
that's
elevators that I found in the land, and
interesting.
I didn't see very many people use it because I guess most guests there are mobile,
Mm,
but the way that the lane is laid out is you enter in on the 2nd level of the land, so that's where
okay.
you can find access to the Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge ride,
Okay.
as well as a couple of the power-up games. So you find the Goomba Crank game, um, the Piranha Plant Mishap, the Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown. There's also these kind of mini games that don't require power-up bands, so there's this
Oh,
casino game. So if you play
we don't have that in Hollywood, I don't
No.
think.
So if you play games like Mario 3D World, there's this game, it's
Mhm.
got the casino game where you match. There are 4 boxes, and you have to match all of them with the same symbol, and just get bragging rights for it.
And you can play that without a
You can play without a
power
power
band.
up band,
Interesting. Okay.
so that
Well,
kind of gives them, yeah.
outside of Super Nintendo World, what were some of your highlights of Japan, and what were some of the things that didn't live up to your hopes?
You know, I never got the opportunity to ride Jaws, the ride at
Oh,
Universal Studios Florida, so I was able to ride that for the very first time.
and
I can tell you that was pretty epic.
yeah,
Yeah,
Jaws
all in
was a good
Japanese
one.
though. Didn't understand,
Fascinating. Okay.
but it was really funny trying to do humor in Japanese.
Sure, sure.
But luckily, I've seen videos on
Did
YouTube of
did
ride
you have
crews.
even if you couldn't understand them, was your skipper very animated? Did they get into the
Oh,
show, or are they kind of
very
bored?
animated.
Oh, good.
You
Oh,
know, got
good.
the shotgun doing that and
Excellent.
going,
Excellent.
"Oh no!" And then
Excellent.
had us point down at the water, saying, "Look, the shark," or something like that. And then, man, the whole experience is really cool. Starts at very campy, welcome to Captain Jake's Amity Boat Tours,
Uh-huh.
with the music, and then you see the Amity 5 has sunken down,
Mhm.
calling for help, get into the boat dock, and then stuff happens. And there's a big finale where, you see Bruce, and then you see him again, all burnt, and then
Yep.
we made it alive. That's,
Good
man,
times, good memories.
yeah. But
Um,
they also they love entertainment out there. Like
mm.
being in the world of live entertainment.
I was I was gonna say being at the Universal that has no live entertainment at the moment,
Mhm.
and here in Orlando, we've seen more and more of our little street shows get cut
Yeah.
back, and what were some of the highlights of the entertainment that you saw?
They have this theater. You may have you may recognize it. It's got the Hollywood Pantages Theater, much
Oh,
like the
okay.
one in Florida, but it is not the horror makeup show. It
Oh,
is the Universal Monsters Rock and Roll Show.
does it have Beetlejuice?
It does.
All
It is
right,
essentially Beetlejuice's Rockin' Graveyard Review. Beetlejuice
interesting.
opens the show, big elaborate set. Beetlejuice comes out of his coffin,
Uh
kind of does a shtick. Then he welcomes, the Wolfman, the Bride, Frankenstein's monster with its guitar, the Wolfman.
huh.
Very, very campy, I can tell you. All
uh,
the songs were in
it's another
Japanese, but
another show
all
I
the
missed.
all the dialogue is in Japanese.
Interesting.
Great show. It's a good like half-hour show. You get to have Beetlejuice perform the YMCA with those village people puppets.
Yeah. And I know the food can be kind of hit or miss at the Universal parks in the
Hmm.
States. Did you eat anything good while you're at Universal in Osaka?
Yeah. I mean, funny enough, one of the best things I've had there was actually a New York style pizza.
That's ironic because the folks at Universal, at least inside the parks, don't seem to know how to make a good pizza.
No.
So here in the States, they can't get it right. So that's funny that they can make a good pizza in Japan.
Yeah, this pizza was everyone's favorite pizza place, Louis Pizza Parlor.
Yeah, we have one of those in the New York section in Orlando, but
Exactly. It looks like
I would not say that
no,
is high quality New York
no.
pizza
But
by
it
any
was
stretch.
also the most busiest restaurant at any
Amazing.
theme park I've ever been to. We
Wow.
waited over an hour and a half just for the food.
An hour and a half for pizza. And I take it they
Yeah.
don't have mobile order there?
Not really. They do
Yeah.
offer it at Mel's Drive-In,
Oh.
but nah, no one's gonna find it. But I can tell you, Japanese, they love the pizza. Hardest
Wow.
thing there is finding the table.
Amazing.
Imagine Louis at
Mhm.
Universal Studios Florida sitting inside and trying to find a table. Now imagine if you blown up the space 3, 4 times and you still can't find a table
Oh my
inside or
god.
outside.
Oh, so it's even bigger there than
It is
in
even bigger in there,
and you still
and
can't find a
all
spot.
these pizzas
Wow.
come all these pizzas come with it's a pizza set, so it comes with a fry, comes with like seasoned fries, pizza, and a soda.
Uh-huh.
By $6.
Wow. Wow, what a bargain. So as long
Mhm.
as you can afford the airfare over, sounds like
Yes.
a good deal.
But another good thing I did try was chicken over rice bowl.
Okay.
Classic chicken rice. So you have yellow rice, chicken, some type of sauce.
Nice.
Churros, meh. They were regular churros you could find here, super stale sometimes.
Okay. So the
But
Japanese have not conquered the churro.
except
Good
at
to know.
Tokyo Disney. The
Oh,
Tokyo
yeah.
Disney churros are really, really good.
All right.
Universal, I don't know what's going on, but I
That's good.
love this. It was just really weird because when I first walked into USJ, I thought it was gonna be like Universal Studios Florida.
Mhm.
Some parts of it are like that, but the whole experience just turns out to be so different. It's like the New York section looks pretty identical to the one in
Mhm.
Orlando, except that Spider-Man is no longer there, which I was happy
Sure.
to ride. Um,
Yep,
though
that just
the
closed down this last week. Yep.
let's see, the Gramercy Park, the Central Park
Mhm.
Plaza, turned into a humongous stage for their holiday stuff.
Okay.
We'll talk about it soon, but
Mhm.
it was a fever dream being there because
Ah,
it was really weird being at this park, but there's so much to offer that is
mhm.
so different from the American parks
Yeah,
like
well, it
over
seems like they have about as many attractions in just their
yeah.
studios park as we have in IOA and the studios combined.
Now they do have this roller coaster called Space Fantasy.
Ah, now which
However,
version? What is
yes,
it? Is it a VR right now, or is
no,
the?
I believe it is gonna be turning into a VR experience
I knew they do a
shortly.
lot of overlays on that
Yeah,
one.
the overlay we went was if you seen the horror movie The Ring.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
they theme a ride based around that character Sadako.
So with projections or animatronics or how?
Just
What do they?
projections.
Okay.
But at the marquee of their attraction, there's this photo op where you can take a picture with the girl with the hair over
Wow.
kind of coming out. It was
Ah,
really, really dark.
that's
But they
that.
said
I don't think you're gonna see that in Universal, except maybe
yeah,
for Halloween Horror Nights. Not
they called
not
it
year round.
they called it a dark horror ride.
Interesting. That's
But
very
it starts
interesting.
out there's a pre-show where this
Okay.
crazy lady kind of experiments, and I don't know if you've seen the original
Hmm.
Japanese horror film where you pass on a tape, and if
Yeah.
you see it,
See,
you
and then
live, but
you.
if you don't, you gotta
Mhm.
pass it multiple times. Kind of says stuff like that.
Okay.
All the team members are wearing lab coats, and it kind of puts
Hmm.
you in that kind of mental hospital kind of
All right.
state. But it's very, very dark inside. The
Wow.
queue is filled with videos of them showing that clip of,
Ah.
and then at the end, oh no, stuff happens, and somehow we make it out alive.
Well, I guess they don't have the Mummy roller coaster there, so
But
that's
it
the
is
closest thing they have.
but it is a pretty intense roller coaster. It is a
Oh yeah.
spinning roller coaster similar to like the Crushers coaster at Walt Disney Studios Park,
Uh huh.
except this is completely in the dark, no show lighting. You didn't know
Oh
where you're
wow.
going. It,
That
it was
that
interesting, maybe a
that
little
sounds intense.
sick.
Oh, all right. Well, I will.
Another great
I'll keep that in mind.
another great thing that I was able to go experience was see Shrek 4D. They
Oh,
happen to be showing
I don't know if I could say that was a great. I think I don't know anyone who really misses Shrek 4D all that much. You can watch it on Netflix if you
yeah.
want.
I happened to be there when they were showing Shrek 4D during the limited window between
Okay.
their animes.
Ah,
In that
okay, because
theater,
they use that as a rotating thing for
yeah,
special
so in
events.
the morning they do a Sesame Street 4D magic show.
Oh, okay.
So you got
That I'd like to see. I
yeah,
go
you
for
got
Sesame Street.
Elmo, Grover, doing their shtick, and then in the afternoon changes over to Shrek. They do the whole pre-show where you're kind of in a dungeon, but not really, because
Mm.
it's a flex theater. But they have the three pigs up on the
Oh,
top.
okay.
You have Lord Farquaad doing his thing, and that they show the full pre-show,
Oh.
all in Japanese. Luckily, I knew what they were saying because I experienced Shrek 4D multiple times.
All
But
right.
the
Well,
cool thing is,
yeah.
yeah. The cool thing about Shrek 4D is at the end of the show, you actually walk in front of the screen. So they lift up the screen,
Hmm.
you dump out, and by basically, if you're in the
Huh.
world of theater, you will walk backstage,
Oh,
and
that's
it turns
interesting.
into this post show where it turns into this animation experience. So if you're
Huh.
familiar with the Waterlands animation, so like Woody Woodpecker, those guys,
Mhm.
there's a little kids area where guests can, animate their Woody Woodpecker
Oh.
shorts. It was cool. And they have
Sounds
a
a
little
little bit
Curious
like
George thing.
the old pre-show from the Hanna-Barbera ride and
Mm.
Nickelodeon ride that used to be at Universal before
They also
Mania.
offer a daily parade there called the No
Mm,
Limit Parade. It features Pokemon, Nintendo, Sing, Minions, Hello Kitty.
a lot
Man,
of great
see
properties. A lot of
see
great
Pikachu
properties that
there.
we don't have all those in Orlando yet, at least. Well,
Mm.
before we wrap this up, I should ask: did you do anything in Japan that was not at a theme park?
Yes, we did. We actually our travel days worked. It actually worked out to our advantage. So up at Tokyo, we visited the Imperial Palace. So
Oh,
that's where the Emperor of Japan basically lives.
mm-hmm.
It's this very tranquil environment.
Hmm.
All the trees are manicured, the lawns. You can go up towards the entrance of the castle, but there is a security guard marching back and forth, making sure no one's doing
Oh,
anything crazy.
okay.
Gorgeous place. We also stopped by a Buddhist temple. Buddhist is their main religion there, but it's right next to the Tokyo Tower, kind of like their version of the Eiffel Tower
Mm,
in Paris. Very religious place. So I guess putting in their prayers, wishes.
mm,
There's also a big night market. There's also this market scene. People trying to sell you stuff.
mm.
That's what we did up in Tokyo. Down in Osaka, we went to this area called Dotonbori. It's essentially a big night market scene. So imagine if you were in like a Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift movie. You see those very narrow streets with the
Yeah.
neon lights, people walking where. That's exactly what it looks like. It's so chaotic.
Mm.
People, food vendors everywhere trying to sell you stuff. So they have these kind of restaurants. Imagine it's just restaurants for the size of your bedroom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
For about 2 to 3 seats,
Mm,
and people will go and then go real quick.
mm.
So, but I got some street food, really good, about $1, because there's so much competition there
Wow.
that the cheaper food you want, it's good quality food. There's
Amazing.
also a bunch of retail. Like there's this 10-story retail shop. Think of it like a Target.
Mm.
10 stories worth of stuff.
Wow.
So you
Wow.
got the markets, you got the toiletries, you got the
Mm,
retail, gaming, other stuff. 10 stories of commerce is very, very much prevalent.
mm.
You'll find people buying stuff everywhere you go, like my friend Duffy right here.
Hello,
Hey, everyone.
Duffy. Well,
I
I'm
know.
glad to see that you brought a souvenir back home from you. It sounds like an
No.
amazing experience. To just
Yes.
wrap it up, if you had one piece of advice that you could go back and tell yourself, go back in time and tell yourself before the trip, what's one piece of advice that you wish you'd known before you went?
I would say just be more patient
Mm,
because Japan's a very much a go, 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 go kind of thing. Like
okay.
it's very easy to get lost if you don't know where you're going. So I would say kind of take some time, especially if you're at the train station, because you can get lost in there. It's like a big old underground city.
That's
Luckily, there are signs there, but having Google Maps
mm,
helped us out, kind of know which direction where to go. Especially stay off your phone. It's basically the way I will put it.
okay. Okay.
Especially if you're in the city. Sure, you want to take pictures of everything, but it's so busy.
Ah,
People will probably want to steal stuff, and you don't want that happening. But the parks itself is a very controlled environment, so I wouldn't be worried too much about
okay.
anything, but it's just the outside perimeters of this parks
Hmm.
can be a little crazy. And yeah.
It's all very good advice, and
Mhm.
if I make it out there, I will keep all of that in mind. Eric, thank you so much
Yeah. Thank you so
for
much.
joining us. Before we finish this, we're going to jump back and take a look, see if we have any comments. And doesn't look like we have much in the comments, but we will be back. We want to thank you all again for watching us and listening to us. Please be sure to leave us a like or a subscription at whatever location you listen to your podcasts. Those reviews really help us out. We also want to thank, of course, our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, once again. And please go on over to attractionsmagazine.com for more details on the stories we discussed today, or search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media platform. Eric, where can folks follow you on social media?
Well, the best place you can find me is on Threads.
Okay.
My username is Universal Fan. Very easy to follow.
All
You
right.
won't find me on Twitter anymore, so Threads is my place.
I hear you. You can find me on all the platforms at skubersky or at The Unofficial Guides. Head over to theunofficialguides.com to pick up copies of my latest books.
That's
And
right.
until next week, which Eric, yes, is holding up. He is definitely a contributor. Thank you so much for all of your help. And
Of course.
and until next week, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, and most importantly, have fun. And we will be back next time. Take care. Bye.
Have a magical day.